Okay, before I say anything else, I need you to stay with me, because what I'm about to tell you is the kind of story that sounds like a movie. Except it's not. It's my life. And once you hear how it started, you're going to understand exactly why I am the way I am today. My 18th birthday was supposed to be the beginning of something. You know how people talk about turning 18 like it's this magical moment? Like somehow the universe shifts and suddenly you matter more. You're taken seriously, you get to step into your own story? Yeah, I believe that. I was counting down the days. But here's what nobody tells you about turning 18 in a family that doesn't see you. It doesn't feel like a beginning. It feels like a door slamming in your face. And that's exactly what happened to me. The morning of my birthday, I woke up early. I remember lying in bed just smiling at the ceiling. Something was about to change. I could feel it. And something did change, just not the way I thought. By noon that day, I had packed a bag. By evening, I had walked out of that house. And I never went back. But before I tell you what happened in those hours, I need to make sure you understand who I was before that day. Because the girl who walked out that door? She was broken. She had been broken for a long time. And what happened next after I left is the part that's going to make your jaw drop. So stay with me. We're just getting started. I grew up in a house where I was invisible. Not in a dramatic, obvious way. It was subtle. The kind of invisible that's hard to explain because from the outside everything looked fine. My mom worked hard. My sister was younger, 4 years younger. And she was the one who needed more. Or at least that was always the excuse. My sister cried louder. My sister struggled more. My sister needed more attention, more resources, more grace. And me? I was the responsible one. The quiet one. The one who figured it out. Every time I asked for something emotionally, practically anything, the answer was always the same. You can handle it. You're stronger than your sister. Being called strong your whole childhood doesn't feel like a compliment. Feels like a dismissal. Like a door closing on your needs before you even finish asking. I remember being 12, sitting at the kitchen table after a hard day at school, just wanting my mom to sit with me for a minute. She walked past me, went straight to my sister's room because my sister was upset about something. I sat there for 45 minutes. She never came back. And I told myself what I always told myself, it's fine. You're fine. You don't need it anyway. That's what 17 years of being the strong one does to a person. Teaches you to swallow everything. To need nothing. To expect nothing. And to be deeply, quietly grateful for any scraps of attention that come your way. So by the time my 18th birthday arrived, I wasn't even going to ask for a party. I wasn't going to demand a celebration. I just wanted one thing. One small, simple thing. I wanted my family to show up for me. Just once. Just that one day. What I got instead, that's where this story really begins. And I promise you, you are not ready for what happened next. Because what my mom did that morning wasn't just hurtful. It was the kind of thing that, once I tell you, you're going to understand why I never went back. Not once. Not for holidays. Not for emergencies. Nothing. Keep watching. Because we're about to get there. Act 2, the birthday, 4:30 to 8 o'clock. So here's what happened. My 18th birthday fell on a Saturday. I woke up, came downstairs, and my mom was already up. She was on the phone, busy, distracted. She didn't say happy birthday. I told myself, okay, maybe later. By mid-morning, she asked me to sit down. I thought, this is it. Maybe she had something planned. Maybe she'd organized something and wanted to tell me. She told me that she'd been thinking, and that for my sister's sake, she needed to move my birthday dinner. My sister had a thing, a recital, a friend's event. I honestly don't even remember what it was. And my mom had already told my sister's friends that Saturday was clear. She looked me in the eye and said, "You understand, right? You always understand." I sat there. I didn't cry. I didn't yell. I just went very, very still inside. Like something that had been holding on for a long time just let go. She wasn't canceling my birthday because of an emergency. She wasn't canceling it because something terrible happened. She was canceling it because my sister's social calendar was more important than the one day a year that was supposed to be mine. And she said it like she already knew I would say yes. Like my acceptance was a given. Like my feelings were a given non-issue. I said, yeah, I understand. I went upstairs. I sat on my bed. And for the first time in years I didn't swallow it. I let myself feel every single bit of it. The years of being last. The years of being the one who handles it. The years of my needs being invisible. And then I opened my closet and I started packing. Now, here's the thing that most people don't know about that afternoon. What my mom did next after I started packing is the part that messed me up far more than the birthday itself. Because it told me everything I needed to know about how she saw me. And I don't think you're expecting it. So don't go anywhere. Because what happened next wasn't a fight. It wasn't drama. It was worse than that. It was silence. And sometimes silence is the most devastating thing another person can give you. What that silence meant, and what I found out about myself because of it, is coming up right now. My mom knew I was packing. She could hear me moving around upstairs. She knew something was happening. She didn't come up. Not once in the 2 hours I packed did she knock on my door. Not once did she ask if I was okay. She just let me pack. Like it was a normal Saturday afternoon activity. And something about that complete total indifference was the clearest answer LD ever gotten. Clearer than anything she'd ever said to me. It told me that even now, even on my birthday, even when I was clearly breaking, I was not the priority. I was not even on the list. I carried my bag downstairs. She was in the kitchen. She looked up. She asked where I was going. I said, I don't know yet. She said, don't be dramatic. That was it. That was the goodbye. Don't be dramatic. I walked out the front door. And I stood on the sidewalk outside my family home for a minute, just breathing. I had no plan. I had some money I'd saved. I had a bag. I had a phone. I had 18 years of being the strong one. And for the first time in my life, I chose myself. I called a friend. I stayed on her couch for 2 weeks. I found a job within 3 days. I found a room to rent within the month. I was terrified every single day. But I was also, and this is the part one didn't expect, I was free. But here's what I need you to understand. Because this is the part that separates my story from just another sad family story. What happened in the 18 months after Elle left? That's where everything changed. That's where I became someone none of them recognized. And what I built without them is the part that's going to hit different. 'Cause I didn't just survive. I completely transformed. And I need you to hear how, because the final chapter of this story is the one nobody saw coming. And I know some of you are probably thinking, okay, she left, she found herself, typical story. But wait. Because the moment my family found out what I had become, what happened between us is not what you're expecting. There was a phone call that changed everything. There was a phone call that changed everything. And the words spoken in that call? I will remember them for the rest of my life. We're almost there. Don't leave now. Act 4, Who I Became, 11 to 13:30. The 18 months after I left were the hardest of my life. And also the most alive I have ever felt. I worked 2 jobs for a while. I ate plain rice more times than I can count. There were nights I cried myself to sleep not because I missed home, but because I missed the idea of home. The one I never actually had. But something was also happening during those months that I didn't fully see until later. I was building something. Not just financially, not just practically, I was building a self. For the first time, every decision was mine. What late when I slept, who I spent time with, what I worked toward. All mine. And slowly, I started to discover who I actually was underneath 17 years of being invisible and being the strong one. Turns out I was driven. Obsessively driven. I started learning things in my free time. I started planning. I had one goal. I never wanted to be in a position where I needed someone else to choose me. I was going to become someone who chose herself and had the life to prove it. Within a year, I had moved from the rented room into my own small apartment. Within 18 months, I had started a side income that was growing faster than I expected. I wasn't rich. I wasn't famous. But I was building something real. Something mine. And then my mom called. She'd heard through a relative that I was doing well. That I had my own place, my own income, that I was not, in fact, destroyed. And something about that, something about me thriving without her approval, without her validation, without her even noticing, something about that bothered her. She called to tell me that LD been selfish. That walking out on my 18th birthday was an immature, dramatic thing to do. That I had hurt my sister. That family means showing up even when it's hard. And I want to tell you what I said to her. because it took me 18 months of building myself from scratch to find the words. And I think some of you might need to hear them too. Because what I said to her in that phone call was not angry. It wasn't bitter. It was something far more powerful than anger. It was clarity. And the moment I said it, the call went completely silent. She didn't have a response. And that silence, that's when I knew I had finally, truly, become someone she never expected. Stay right here, we're at the part that changed everything. Asterisk Act 5. The Confrontation and Truth. 1330 to 1500 hours. I let her finish. I didn't interrupt. I didn't defend myself. I just listened to every word she said. And then I said, Mom, I left because I finally believed you. You always told me I was strong enough to handle anything. You were right. I handled leaving too. Silence. I told her I didn't leave because I stopped loving her. I left because I finally started loving myself. And those two things for the first time in my life had to coexist. I told her that the girl who would have stayed, the one who would have said yes, I understand just like always, that girl is gone. The one on the phone with her right now? She's someone new. Someone who knows her worth. Someone who doesn't wait for her birthday to be given back to her. She cried. I cried. We didn't fix everything in that call. We're still not fixed. Maybe we never will be. But something shifted. Because for the first time in my life I had told the truth. Not the palatable version. The real one. And I want to leave you with this. Because I think some of you watching this right now are in that house. You're the strong one. You're the one who handles it. You're the one waiting for the day your family finally sees you, really sees you. I need to tell you what I wish someone had told me at 18. The day you choose yourself is not the day you lose everything. It's the day you find out who you actually are. And that person, the one waiting on the other side of that decision, is someone no one expected. Not even you. The family that broke me at 18 could never have imagined who I was going to become. And honestly, neither could I. So here's my question for you. And I genuinely want to know. Was there a moment in your life when you chose yourself over staying comfortable? Or are you still in that house right now waiting? Tell me in the comments. As I read every single one. And you might be surprised, you're not as alone in this as you think. And if this story hit you somewhere deep, somewhere you haven't let yourself look in a while, share it. Send it to someone. You never know who's sitting in their room right now on their birthday wondering if they matter. They do. You do. I see you. I'll see you in the next one.